So I know I have talked a lot here at Ring of Fire about the fact that all these polls showing that Biden's not doing so great against Trump, it's not time to worry about him. You know, there's a lot of issues with the polling, and that still remains true. But I'm going to walk back my previous comments that it's not time to worry about Biden's poll numbers. Because based on the results of two recent polls in the last week, it is definitely time to start worrying about Biden's poll numbers. Both a New York Times poll and a CBS poll that came out on Sunday show that President Biden is trailing Donald Trump nationally. The New York Times poll has him 5 points behind. The CBS poll has him 4 points behind. That's not good. Previously when the New York Times had these polls that showed Trump winning wildly, it was not replicated in any other polls. However, this one now has been replicated by the CBS poll, which has a much better, by the way, margin of error. So, yeah, not necessarily time to go into full-blown panic, but it's time to worry. Because Donald Trump should not, by any stretch of the imagination, be doing this well in the polling. Biden should not be doing this badly. It makes no sense to me, especially because when we look at the results of all of the elections that we have had, special elections, local elections, Democrats consistently overperform. So how does that square with all of these poll results? Poll results show, Republicans are going to do so great. And then, a Democrat actually won a red district. How is that happening? How is the polling that wrong? And trust me, I do believe that these polls are wildly inaccurate. I really do. And part of the reason for that, I've explained this, I'll explain it again, is because they base who they sample. How many people from this demographic, how many people of this political party, it's all based on numbers from the 2020 census. Well, what's happened since the 2020 census? More than 1 million Americans, including roughly 2,000 a week right now, are dying from COVID. And every study out there has shown us that more Republicans than Democrats are dying from COVID. That's a morbid fact, but a fact nevertheless. So there's not, and again, this is so morbid, but I'm going to say it because it is true. There are fewer Republicans in America today than there were when that census was filled out. But these pollsters have to go by the census data. So if they see an area that's 55% Republican, 45% Democrat, 55% of the people they talk to are Republican, 45% will be Democrat, even if those numbers have shifted and changed due to COVID, because they don't have the new numbers. They have to base it on what the census said. So Republicans are being oversampled in all of these polls. Some of them have actually outright admitted that. So there's that. But the Biden White House this week did come out and say they're not too worried about the polls, right? It's super early. We got a lot of time. Things will change. The people I want to be worried about these polls are the people in the Biden administration. Y'all need to be freaking out about it. The public, maybe not so much, but y'all need to treat this as real. Y'all need to look at it as, yes, Biden is losing. What can we do to make up ground? That is what the administration needs to do. And I've always said that they need to take him seriously. The public, maybe not. But here's another problem. Part of the reason, as I said, I can't understand why Trump's doing so well. Well, recently a Democratic strategist conducted a survey. And that survey actually offered us quite a bit of insight into why Trump is doing so well in the polls. And the reason is because most people aren't even paying attention to politics to the point where, about 2/3 of the country, or the people surveyed, I should say, didn't know about any of the horrible things Trump has said just this year. Let me read you this. The poll was designed to survey voters who are genuinely gettable for Biden. The poll asked them about 10 of Trump's most authoritarian statements, including, being dictator for a day, undoing parts of the Constitution by getting rid of birthright citizenship, Trump's claim that immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country, his vow to pardon rioters who attacked the Capitol, his promise to prosecute the Biden family without cause, his threat to inflict mass persecution on the vermin opposition, and a few more. The result? Only 31% of respondents said they previously had heard a lot about these statements by Trump. And the good news for Biden is that when respondents were presented with these quotes, it prompted a rise in Trump's negatives. For instance, after hearing them, the percentage who see him as out for revenge jumped by 5 points, the percentage who see him as dangerous rose by 9 points, and the percentage who see him as a dictator climbed by 7 points. So this survey shows that a lot of those people right now saying, yeah, I'd vote for Trump over Biden. Sure, why not? It's because they're not paying attention to politics right now. And part of that, of course, is because the media is not doing a good enough job pointing out how horrible Trump is, right? They're doing the same thing they did in 2016. They're giving him a pass. They can't do that. But once these voters learn about these things, they're like, oh, God, hell no, I'm not going to vote for that guy then. So what does this do? It gives Democrats an opportunity. You now know the message you need to put out there to the American public. And you damn sure better not wait till August to start running your national campaign ads. There's no reason to not do it right now. It's what pisses me off about the damn Democratic Party. Like, well, we're not into the general yet, so we're not going to run ads. Run ads! Run them where I live. Run them in red states. Remind these people of what Trump is. Because if you don't start it now, you're going to run out of time. You're going to be put on your heels and they're going to start talking about things and all your ads are going to be doing is trying to counter what Republicans say. Start the narrative today. It works. That survey shows it works. You want to correct those poll numbers, you get your asses moving. And you start reminding the public of how dangerous Donald Trump is. Well, folks, we have crossed that 1 million subscriber milestone, but rest assured, we are just getting started here at Ring of Fire. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and make sure to like, share, and comment on the videos.